Confident, confident, confident. I can be confident, 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 confident. I can be confident at work.
Hello and welcome to the Confident at Work podcast. I'm your host and your confidence coach, Anna Manning. And in today's episode, I'm going to be telling you what I've learned about your confidence challenges from 2025 and how we're going to tackle those in 2026. So, welcome to this first episode of 2026. And the purpose of today's episode is to share with you some analysis that I've been doing. So, I looked back at all of the clients that I've worked with in 2025. And I looked also at the podcast analytics to see where are those key areas where clients and podcast listeners are struggling? Where do you keep getting stuck in terms of your confidence? And my goal was to really understand what your biggest confidence challenges are and help me to think about how I'm going to help you to tackle them in 2026. And I learned some really interesting things. I learned that there are some, what I'm going to call clusters of issues, of challenges, which crop up again and again and again. And I'm going to outline those clusters for you, help you to kind of lift the lid maybe on your own challenges and see if these are things that you recognize. So, what I know about my clients, and this is general, right? This is general. It won't be the same for every single person, but generally, what I know about my people is that they are capable. They are usually mid-senior to senior. They are thoughtful types mostly. They're usually already fairly successful by external standards. They're quite emotionally intelligent, so they're going to notice the vibes of other people and of situations. They may tend to kind of over monitor themselves in terms of over checking, overthinking, over analyzing, ruminating, etc. And they tend to be fairly nervous about missteps, being found out, making a mistake, being put on the spot. So if you're listening to that and thinking, yeah, tick, 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 then hello, welcome to Confident at Work. We exist for you. These struggles are common. And even among high performers, because my people usually are high performers and high achievers. So our two sources of insight, as I said, were client work. And I was looking in that client work, I went back through everything from this year and I looked at reoccurring struggles, patterns, the self-reported challenges that people had, that the areas that they wanted coaching on, areas that they were getting stuck. And I also looked at the podcast analytics. So which episodes were resonating most, which were most listened to. So to make sense of the data, because there was quite a lot of it, I themed it, I looked at it and I themed it into clusters. And if you are a research person, you're probably listening to this and thinking, oh, Anna, there's a million like good ways that you could do that. And unfortunately, I've never really done any research where I was the researcher. I've commissioned research, but I've never actually done it. So I kind of just went about this in my own way, and hopefully it bears some interesting fruit. So I saw 7 overall clusters, and they do overlap, but I wanted to share each one with you so that you can hear them and see if you can identify anything within them that might be true for you. So our first cluster was around visibility. So around having confidence when you are in a moment under pressure, when eyes are on you. And those key challenges that we saw over and over again were not speaking up in meetings, freezing in meetings, public speaking anxiety, wondering or worrying about the judgments of other people in those moments where eyes are on you. Now, this is bread and butter. This is something that I help clients with all the time. So in 2026 episodes, we're going to be thinking about staying calm and staying clear and staying confident in those moments where eyes are on you, where there's visibility and where people might actually be evaluating performance, quote unquote, and staying confident under pressure. The second cluster was around the mental overload and the inner critic thing. So the challenge of overthinking, those spirals that my clients get into in certain situations where they'll start thinking something, they'll get in their head, then they might panic, then they might withdraw or speak really fast. Like there's some kind of spiral and mental overload happening in a moment. And that is bunched in with inner critic because as a key part of that, often for my clients, there is self criticism, there is self talk, which is really unhelpful and probably making all of that worse. And so I know that a key area for my people and maybe for you is that your mind can sometimes be a barrier and a thing that you have to overcome in order to do your best work and put your best foot forward. And it's not due to a lack of skill, but it is due to this kind of mental overload and this inner critic stuff. So in future episodes, we're going to be talking again about quieting that inner critic, about making confident decisions without overthinking, and about those sort of spirals that you might find yourself in, and how to look at those, think about them, and dismantle them. The third cluster was around conflict, feedback, and disagreements. So my clients' challenges were around handling confrontation, handling moments where they know that they're going to be saying something that somebody doesn't want to hear, or they know they're going to be disappointing someone. And really, those moments of giving feedback. So it might be tough feedback, it might be constructive feedback, and that might be to bosses or clients, or it might be to people that they are managing. So for many of my clients, that giving hard feedback or conflict or disagreement, that is an area where they feel less comfortable. And I do a lot of work with people to increase the calm and increase the confidence in those moments. Because again, it's not a lack of skill or knowing what you need to do that's the problem. It's the physical and the mental reaction and the discomfort with those situations of conflict, feedback, and disagreement. And our fourth cluster was around people pleasing and boundaries. And the key challenges that I saw again and again were saying yes when you want to say no, overcommitting to things when you know you don't have the capacity or you know you don't have the resource, but you just keep saying yes, fears of being perceived as difficult or not a team player. So you just keep saying yes and not setting boundaries. And especially as my clients are getting more senior, whereas when you might have been more junior, you might have done that, but that might not be working for you anymore. We're going to be having future episodes about setting boundaries confidently, around people pleasing, being nice, needing everybody to like us and to be pleased with the things that we're doing, the decisions that we're making, and the answers that we are giving them. So, cluster 5 is around seniority. And the challenges that I'm seeing there are I am now more senior, but I still don't feel as confident as I want to, or think I need to, or should. And that might lead to people underplaying their expertise. Again, it might lead back to that cluster 4 of still people pleasing and not setting appropriate boundaries, imposter syndrome type thing where I'm wondering, should I be in my role and do I deserve to be here? And I know, because of the work that I've done with clients, that confidence doesn't automatically just appear with our new title or with our promotion or with the new responsibility that we've been given. Yeah, it would be nice if it did, but it just definitely doesn't. And so a lot of the people that I work with, they are now more senior, but the confidence hasn't automatically come along with it. So we're going to be having episodes this year about inhabiting that authority, leading with presence, trusting your expertise. And a client posed a really interesting question this year, which I think is very relevant to this cluster, which was, if you've always done the fake it till you make it, what do you do when you actually make it? And I just thought, oof, mic drop. So for my more senior people, if you have faked it all the way through in terms of confidence and now you've made it, do you just keep faking it? Like, what is next? So we're going to be thinking about that this year. The sixth cluster is around, I'm going to call it resilience, but what this means is recovering from setbacks and sustaining and maintaining your confidence. I guess my insight here is that once you have built that sustainable confidence, you also have to be able to maintain it in the face of setbacks, challenges, etc., because they are always going to come. And we've talked about this before on the podcast, but this is a key thing which just keeps coming through. So, in future episodes, we're going to be thinking about bouncing back, which is going to help you weather the storms of a professional career. And the seventh cluster is around authenticity and trusting yourself. So, this came up quite a bit in the data. And again, we have talked about it on the podcast before, but the challenges that people have is feeling like they have to sort of put up a front or performative kind of behavior, feeling like this is often for my clients, well, I'm introverted or I'm more quiet or I'm, not one of those kind of, I call them Billy big bollocks type people. They're not going to go in there and like be loud and talk over everyone. That just my clients generally, that is not really their vibe. And very often they think when they get to a certain level, oh, I've got to be like that in order to be confident. And I spend a lot of time telling people, I don't think that's the case. And that would be fake for the kind of people that I work with anyway. So that's never really going to work. So we're going to keep talking about it. So everything we do this year is like everything we've done in the years before, designed to build lasting confidence, not designed to help you become someone else and help you fake it and help you pretend. If you want that kind of help, this is not the podcast for you. I'm sure that there are loads you can go to, like how to smash everything and everyone or something like that. I don't know. But in this podcast, on this podcast, we're here to talk about confidence that lasts even under pressure and even in the difficult moments. Because I want you to feel confident when you're under pressure and when you're visible. I don't want you all the time in your head being criticized and kind of mentally overloaded and exhausted by all that mental chatter. I want you to feel confident when there are moments of conflict and when you have to give feedback and when there's a disagreement. I want you to feel confident to set a boundary and stop overcommitting if that's something that you can do. I want you to be more confident as you become more senior. And I want you to know that you are in your role for a reason and a good reason. And I want you to feel resilient because you know how to recover from setbacks and how to sustain your confidence over time, even when it gets knocked. And I want you to know that you don't have to put on a front and do a load of performative stuff all the time, that you can lean back into yourself and feel confident about that. So that's what we're going to be doing this year. That's 2026. And if you haven't already, please do come and join us in the Confident at Work Masterclass for 2026. So this is the class that I teach every year, and it gets a little bit better every year. We have a lot of people signed up already, and you are very welcome to join us. Head to the show notes, click the link, and book. Even if you can't come live, you will get the replay in your inbox. Share it with your teams, with your friends, with your employees, with your direct reports, anyone that might need or might want this kind of grounded strength and confidence and freedom, mental and emotional freedom as they go about their job. All right, if you want to come and work with me this year, there are links in the show notes for private coaching and to join the Confident at Work membership. Click in the link, book a call, come and talk to me about how I can help you to feel a lot more confident at work in 2026. All right, I will see you in next week's episode. Bye.
Confident, confident, confident. I can be confident.